And we're live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is your boy, the Dread Man. We're back with the NFL Fourth and Goal podcast, this time with our divisional round predictions. I'm here with my boys Flipside and Walls Top. Hey, what's up, gentlemen? How did you guys feel about Wild Card Weekend or Super Wild Card Weekend?
It was cool. It was disappointing, but I guess it was entertaining. So, I mean, hey, there was a lot of memes in the meme.
Yeah.
A lot of pirates and a lot of happiness for me after a little bit of sadness. So, I mean, hey.
Yeah, definitely. Waz, what's your thoughts on Wild Card Weekend?
I mean, Wild Card Weekend, for the most part, I felt like it went kind of as expected, honestly. I think, at the most part, we kind of called it for the games that I think that we felt were potential toss-up games. I think the Chargers-Jags game was a potential, again, toss-up game. The Giants-Vikings game, another, again, potential toss-up game. I think the only maybe major surprise, I think, was maybe Tampa not putting up as much of a fight as maybe some of us thought they would. Mm-hmm. Try as hard as they would. Dallas's kicker make him missing 4 straight extra points to make it kind of an interesting game. Maybe for Tampa to try to make their way back, but I think for the most part, I think things kind of went as scheduled. I was not expecting, obviously, that kind of a comeback from the Jags, Jacksonville. But who am I to say? I mean, I think the stat was being thrown around there that Trevor Lawrence has yet to lose a game on a Saturday in his entire football career, high school and college. So now NFL. But yeah, I think it was again a wild card weekend. It was a wild weekend in a couple of those games.
Definitely. Yeah, so we got the divisional round, gentlemen. This is where it gets a little bit more spicy. Now, we got 4 games. Now, before we actually run those games down, I want to know, in you guys' opinion, which do you think is the most likely upset out of all these? For me, I think the most likely upset, if I had to pick one, maybe, just maybe the Giants upsetting the Eagles. But Flip, what about you? Yeah, like I said, you got Jags, Chiefs, Giants, Eagles, but
it's not really an upset game for the 49ers and Cowboys, so you can't really add that one in.
It's not.
I think the only really game that can be an upset is Jags, Chiefs, and Eagles, Giants, honestly.
Mm-hmm. And but still, you can call it an upset if they're the underdog on paper, because right now the Niners are the favorite over the Cowboys.
Yeah, but the Cowboys are a great team. Like, if you would be like, oh man, I'm so shocked. That's like a Giants-Jags situation. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think I would probably say the one that I would believe in is the Eagles. The Eagles-Giants game.
Mm-hmm. Waz, what about you? What is out of the 4 games of the divisional round? What game is most likely to end in an upset to you?
Yeah, I think it's Giants. Giants over the Eagles. The Giants for sure look like a team that they're frisky enough. They're well coached enough. Danny Dimes is playing solid enough. They've just got a lot of key pieces there. And the Eagles, for the most part, they're the number 1 seed, but for the last month and a half or so, they haven't really been playing great. Jalen Hurts, he's been injured. Save for the last game of the season, he came back. We don't know what we're going to expect to see. The last time we saw Jalen Hurts in a playoff game, he was abysmal against a Tampa team. So we don't know. We don't know what we're going to be seeing here from this Philly team against New York Giants, who, again, I think a lot of people are going to be looking at this because for sure, Buffalo and Cincinnati, that's a toss-up. That can go either way. Dallas. I don't see Dallas coming into San Fran and pulling that off. I just do not. Mm-hmm. And Jacksonville over KC. That is I guess that would be the other option.
Yeah.
again, we saw what Jacksonville just did last week, but in Kansas City, obviously a team that definitely likes to let teams hang around games. But no, for me, it's the Giants. Phillies looked a little bit like a paper champion the last month and a half. Giants have a little bit of a swagger. I think the Giants, especially from that last game where the Giants basically had their second string in against Jalen Hurts, and they only lost by 6. I think the Giants think they could definitely go in there and win.
All right, gentlemen. Let's go ahead and break these predictions down. Saturday. Let's start with our AFC game. You got the Jacksonville Jaguars going on the road to face the Kansas City Chiefs, the first seed. Flip, who you got? Jags, Chiefs.
Oh, this is a Chiefs game. The Jags were getting demolished by us, 27 they didn't have offense. So the Chiefs, who actually have a great coach, a great head coach, great defensive coordinator, great offensive coordinator. If they get up 21 plus points, you're never expecting them to blow up defensively because Andy Reid's going to make it in the second half to do it.
Oh, yeah.
So the Jags, they show that they're very misprone in the first half. And, they came back, but that's because we're a terrible team coach-wise. The Chiefs, they're not blowing a 4-touchdown lead.
Hell no.
The Chargers gave them the blueprint defensively for what to do to stop Trevor Lawrence in the first half. This seems like Andy Reid's gonna have a field day with this team for me, in my opinion. So, in this game, I'll say 30 to 20, maybe 33 to 23 over the Jags.
All right. Waz, who you got? Chiefs, Jags.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs. Again, but although it is tempting to possibly go with the upset here because Kansas City. I know what you're saying, Flip. I do think that a lead, like if Kansas City was to put the kind of lead that the Chargers did, Kansas City is maybe more well equipped to maintain and hold that lead. But we just witnessed Kansas City. They tend to, again, this is a team that, they played Denver. They played Denver close the last 2 times they played Denver. They almost lost to Houston. I mean, this team likes to just hang around and let other teams in these games. And I think Jacksonville, for the most part, way more competitive and better than those 2 teams. Lawrence, obviously, he's shown us what he can put together in a half. I do like. Again, I think obviously coaching-wise, I think Kansas City's not going to be as prone to the mistakes that Los Angeles Chargers coaches. But I just think I don't see the Chiefs losing at home. I think part of the Jacksonville comeback was for them being in Jacksonville. This team's not as good on the road. I think this is going to be where Lawrence catches the first L on a Saturday. But if for whatever reason, if he somehow manages to pull off an upset here, that will be one hell of a story. Upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs, the number 1 seed there on the road. But I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think defensively, I maybe give the Jags. It's a little neck and neck with Kansas City, but I just don't think Jags offensively are going to hang there with Kansas City. I think Mahomes and them they use that bye week. They use that bye week to good rest. They'll take care of Jacksonville here. Give me Kansas City to win this game. I'm going to say they win this game 35-24.
Good stuff, fellas. Good stuff. Now, I've racked my brain with this. And does Kansas City's defense have an answer for Travis Kelce? I don't think they do. But do they let him get off and try to lock everybody else down? And, is it like, force Travis Kelce to beat you as far as receiving goes? Or do they try to do something else? Because they could try to do a little strategy where they can milk the clock. But how is that going to work? Because we all know what Patrick Mahomes could do in 15 damn seconds. So maybe that's not going to work. Doug Peterson has got to cook up something. Doug Peterson has got to be Houdini if he wants to win this game. Trevor Lawrence, He can't throw 4 picks. If Trevor Lawrence even throws 1 pick, game over. He can't turn the ball over at all against these guys. They got a solid running game with ATN, but thing is, Kansas City, everything that you could think of on the offensive side of the ball, Kansas City can match that. So it's going to come down to the mistakes, and it's going to come down to turnovers. But with that in mind, I'm going to give me Kansas City 31-23 over the Jags. All right, next up, and this one I think might be the most exciting game of divisional weekend. We got the Philadelphia Eagles going up against the New York Giants. NFC East matchup. All right, Flip, who you got? Giants, Eagles.
Am I here, Flip? Flip, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the game? My bad. I'm multitasking a little bit here.
Oh, you get Giants, Eagles prediction.
Eagles, and see, the thing is, Jalen Hurts is kind of like throwing me off here because I don't know if Jalen Hurts is 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's playing, but I'm just not entirely sure he's going to be 100% here.
But can a 50% Jalen Hurts outduel a 100% Daniel Jones?
Man.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a super 100%, but I think it's going to be enough maybe. But Daniel Jones was running on his team, and when I think of that, like, he can do that against the Eagles. Like, the Eagles might be able to shut down him in the secondary, but when Daniel Jones uses his legs, and we can see another, Saquon game like this, Darius Slayton can be a solid receiver one for this team.
Yeah, if he doesn't drop passes, yeah.
It's like, is Jalen Hurts really this like amazing pocket pass? He kind of will himself to play this game. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sold on Jalen Hurts being a pocket guy. He's more so like open the run game with his legs. Once the run game's open, now the passing game's open, and Jalen does his fucking damage. Like we'll see him run for 100 yards or so. So I'm not entirely sold on Jalen Hurts here. I think this is why I was kind of banking on this being the upset game. I'm gonna say this is the upset game. I'm gonna say this is the upset game. I'm gonna go with the Giants here. I'm gonna say Giants and over the Eagles.
All right, Waz, who you got? Eagles, Giants.
Yeah, I'm tempted to go along with Flip, but I just can't do it. I think I really I really do think it's going to be a 1-2 for the most part in the NFC Championship. I like the Philly team here to beat the Giants. I think it's going to be close. But I think the bell strikes midnight for the Cinderella team, the Cinderella New York Giants team. They are getting frisky. They are feeling like a little 2007, 2011-esque with how those teams were assembled. There are some brief similarities.
Yes.
I think the team can rush the ball well with just the front four. But there's a lot of pieces this Philly team can do. There's a lot of things there's a lot of ways they can attack and score. And I think I'm not sure if Danny Dimes can keep up with this team. But now granted, I think this could be maybe a mid to low 20-point game. And I think that might favor the Giants in that instance.
Yeah.
And I think realistically, Philly needs to basically get a lot of takeaways. At least force a few turnovers out of Danny Dimes. If Danny Dimes isn't, at least if he's not throwing a pick or for fumbling the ball and they're protecting the rock, I think it'll be a very, very close tight game. But I think the difference maker is going to be the takeaways. Philly is an excellent team there with getting the turnover differential. So I like Philly here. Gosh, yeah, I would like to pick the upset here, and I wouldn't be surprised, but my heart's telling me I think Philly surprises people. I think the betting favorite wants to lean towards this upset happening, but I don't think it will. Give me the Eagles here to squeak out a victory. I'm going to say 31-27.
All right. Now, on paper, the Eagles are supposed to win this game, but if there was a more likely upset out of any game in divisional weekend, it is this one. But I was asking myself questions. What if this is not a high-powered offensive kind of game? What if this is a ground-and-pound, slow defensive kind of game? Who does that favor? In a low-scoring game, in a slower-paced game, who does it favor more? What was that? All right, well, yeah, but I was saying
it's the Giants. For me, it's the Giants. If it's a lower, again, what I was saying is if it's a lower paced game, I think it's the Giants.
Yeah, but if it's a more fast paced, up tempo game, then it does favor the Eagles a little bit more. That's one of the questions I was asking myself. And another question is I was asking myself is special teams. Who is going to make more moves on special teams as far as return yards and as far as turnovers? Like, because you got to make that happen. I mean, in this game. And also, if turnovers do happen, who's going to be able to take advantage of those? Who's going to be able to do the most with it? Because we all know that the Eagles can score, and we know for sure that that the Giants can score. But see, here's the thing: we all know Danny Dimes can run, but the Giants' bread and butter is Saquon. But if Saquon is locked down, do they have a plan B? I don't think so. I don't think they have a reliable plan B. But the Eagles, however, if Jalen Hurts can't scramble out of the pocket and if their running game gets shut down, they got a plan B, C, and D. So, they can beat them in multiple departments. I feel like that if the Giants become one-dimensional, then the Eagles can run away with this one. But going ahead and giving the Eagles in this game 28-23 over the Giants. All right, next up, we got another interesting one, boys. We got the Buffalo Bills going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. Flip, who you got? Bills, Bengals.
Bengals? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Rematch of the century, basically.
Yes.
Bills, Bengals. I mean, I don't even know what to go with this game. This is kind of like...
Yeah, because they struggle. Yeah.
With this situation, right? Like, the Bengals feel like they got robbed because they didn't really, get the home field advantage that they deserve for winning the division if they were going to. The Bengals, they have the whole DeMar Hamlin situation going.
Yeah.
And I know people, probably think like, oh, DeMar Hamlin, that does a lot for that team's morale.
Yeah.
Like when something goes down like that, and you just want to, be the people to, win it for, a bad situation. Make the best out of the situation. That goes a long way. So, man, I'm gonna go with the Bills here. It's iffy because I feel like this is just like a game. This might be game of the week here. Wow. This is a game where I feel like they're gonna fight their ass off. Man. I'm going with Josh Allen, the Bills here.
Yeah.
Damn it, because it's like Joe Burrow, man. All he does is win.
But you got to remember, Joe Burrow takes a lot of sacks, and you can't give up a lot of sacks against this Bills defense.
Yeah, but he can sling the ball.
Yeah, but still, he got sacked. Remember, they barely won last year against the Titans, and he was sacked 7 times in that game. You can't do that against a team that can score like the Bills can.
That is true. Man.
We did see this Bills team almost lose to the Dolphins a week ago.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, the Bills struggled. Yeah, the Bills struggled against the Dolphins, so you can use that.
The Bills team almost lost to Skylar Thompson.
Yeah.
But this Bengals team almost lost to Tyler Huntley.
Exactly. So they cancel each other out, basically.
You know what? I'm going Bills. I'm gonna play it safe. I think Bills are the safer option here. Mm-hmm. But I would not be surprised if Joe Burrow goes out there. Not be at all. So yeah, I'm gonna say Bills here. I think it's extremely close. Close game. I'll say 31-28. 31-28 Bills. 31-28 Bills.
All right. Wise, who you got? Bills, Bengals.
This is a tough game. Again, both teams didn't look as great going against, backup quarterbacks the week prior. I will say I think Cincy again, maybe like a little bit better, all things considered. I think the overall defense on Baltimore. What was the reason why the game was so close? Regardless of their quarterback, just what happened with Buffalo last week though was just unacceptable. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing: I understand the Bills got a Josh Allen, but Josh Allen's just turning the ball over way too much. He's starting to revert back to how he was when he first came into the league with turning the ball over, throwing the interceptions. It's just he's at times he was wanting to give that game away because realistically the Dolphins didn't play that great. For the game to be that close as it was, at times I felt like they were trying to give it to him, but there are some injuries that are of concern on the offensive line for Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. I'm just not sure if Burrow can just make up for it. That offensive line has been getting hurt lately, and that's going to be a problem. Now, I don't think this Buffalo's defense, if it was if they had a healthy Von Miller back on the field with them, I would be picking them all day. It's a little bit trickier in this spot. I think, obviously, if there was a little bit more reliable protection for Burrow, a little more reliability on the offensive line to ensure some good running from Mixon, I think the Bengals could very well win this game on the road. That being said, I think this is Buffalo's time. I think, again, this is gonna be a really weird game. Just the whole aura of the game being basically a rematch of the postponed game weeks back. It's gonna be a very, very odd game. Now in that game, you could argue since he was since he was in the lead, we don't know what would have happened, but possibly since he wins that game, don't know about this one. But I'm going to go with my instinct here. I think Buffalo's on a mission. I think they want to go back. I think they want to take it to Kansas City. I think Buffalo wins. It's got to be close. Give me Buffalo to win 28-25.
All righty. Now you got Josh Allen against Joe Burrow. You got Jamar Chase against Stephon Diggs. Man. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how both defenses stack up, or who can try to take out or contain both of the team's best weapons. Now, as you guys pointed out, Cincy was winning the game in that first encounter before the Damar Hamlin tragedy. But yeah, now this is a pretty evenly matched game. But as far as who makes less mistakes. Well, I mean, the thing is, you guys, Waz pointed out that we saw flashes of rookie or year one and year two Josh Allen, but I think he cleans up his act in this game. And as I mentioned, as good as Joe Burrow is, his biggest flaw, he may not turn the ball over as often, but he's sack prone, which can be just as bad, if not worse, in a lot of situations. You don't want to get in worse field, in bad field position. And as we saw in the divisional game last year with the Bills and the Chiefs, we saw how fast they can score. We saw how fast the Bills can score. So, do they really want that kind of smoke? I think if you're the Bengals in this game, I don't really think you abandon the pass game altogether, but I do think you focus on Joe Mixon in the running game a hell of a lot more, just to get them to fight your kind of fight, slow down the pace to where you want it. to the point where you kind of eat up as much clock as possible and try to force him to make that throw. And then when you force him to make those clutch plays, that's when you can get Josh Allen to make mistakes. But with that in mind, I don't really see that happening. I see the Bills implementing a better strategy than the Bengals. I still have it being close, though. Give me the Bills 28-24. Yeah, give me the Bills 28, Bengals 24. And last but not least, we got a classic matchup, NFC matchup. You got the Dallas Cowboys going on the road against another Cinderella team in the San Francisco 49ers. Flip, who you got? Boys, Niners.
Oh, man. Okay. So, interesting game here. I don't know if Buzz agrees with me on this one, but Brock Purdy was a little iffy to start that game.
Mm-hmm.
He did,
but then he heated up.
Yeah, he did up for sure. And that had me thinking, it's like, is that going to be a deciding factor in this matchup against this team?
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought to myself, Cowboys, it's not like they're just like this team that can run up the score. They kind of battle it out with other teams. Well, and even in the game against the Bucs, it like they just kind of like, smoked them. It was like it was a slow burn. Like they just slowly kept adding up that score. And the 49ers, I think, honestly, Kyle Shanahan might be the best coach in the league. I think about that. He's got his guys. He's got the Deebo Samuel, the Swiss Army knife. He's got Christian McCaffrey, another Swiss Army knife.
George Kittle.
Swiss Army knife. He's one of the best blocking, or might be the best blocking tight end in the league. Mm-hmm. And a great receiving tight end. You got Brandon Ayuk, a really slept on receiver. He's great. He's up there with these guys. You could argue he's top 10. And then I look at the Cowboys side, and it's like you got Zeke. Zeke looked bad against the Bucs, but the Bucs defense is great. So I'm not really going to hold him to that. But I mean, this 49ers defense, it's not a joke. Like their pass rush is crazy. Nick Bosa was making plays last week. Nick Bosa is going to make plays against Dak, especially. I think the Cowboys had a O-lineman go down, right?
Yeah, they did.
It's like Nick Bosa is one of those guys I could see exposing Dak and causing a lot of fits for him, just like I think Micah Parsons might do for Purdy. The difference, Kyle Shanahan has a lot more of his bag of tricks than Kellen Moore does. And when I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking, Micah Parsons might be getting to Brock Purdy a lot, but when you got Deebo Samuel back there, you've got Kyle Juszczyk and George Kittle willing to block. Like they're out there. They love to block. You got guys who love. You got 7 linemen basically. So I can't see the Cowboys really stopping this 49ers team. I can see this 49ers team stopping the Cowboys enough to get this game, get this win. So give me the 49ers in this. I'll say 30-24 over the Cowboys.
Alrighty. Wise, who you got? Cowboys, Niners.
Yeah, I got San Francisco in this all day. I don't. This is my like most assured game, right. And it sinks when you're and it's very suspect, and it is a little nervous when you're super confident about your own team in a playoff game. Mm-hmm. But just what I've seen from this team week in and week out ever since Purdy took over, it has been night and day. For some reason, again, Shanahan has been viewed and deemed as an offensive guru, offensive genius, and it really took a 7th round pick, the last pick in the NFL draft, to just unlock everything. I mean, not that in the addition of Christian McCaffrey, but since since Purdy took over, this offense has been completely different. It's been completely like just a team that can put up 30 plus, and in so many different ways. Like Flip was alluding to, they got so many different Swiss Army knives. We could have McCaffrey lined up at wide receiver. Hell, we can have our fullback Kyle Juszczyk lined up at wide receiver. He can catch well. You can have Debo in the backfield. You can have Kittle in the backfield. It's just they can throw in so many different formations and stuff. It can make a defensive coordinator lose their mind. Dallas will be probably the toughest test that Purdy's faced so far. Mm-hmm. We did see that he did have not as great of a half against Seattle that first half, but turned it around, and he was lights out in the second half. He was unbelievable. Hell, he had one of the more they could have put up. There was a missed touchdown from Ayuk late in the game last week. They could have had 40 plus, or you could have had even almost 48. But again, Purdy. This will be the toughest defense. Although Purdy sees the toughest defense week in and week out on the scout team when he was basically the scout quarterback against this 49ers defense in practice. So you could argue that he sees it all the time. For me, I'm worried about a team that can throw over the top on this team because the Niners are prone to giving up big plays. Hufanga will give up, a TD here and there over the top. Metcalf destroyed us last week. I will admit that. Yeah. I don't think Lamb can do the same. I think Lamb for me, he's going to be more in the intermediate, in the middle of the field, and then after the catch, maybe go routes and stuff like that. Yeah. But I don't see him. I don't see him just beating us over the top consistently. Yeah. I think our linebackers are athletic enough to cover Schultz and all the intermediate stuff. I'm not worried about Zeke or Pollard. We'll see if that bites me in the butt, but I'm just not. Dak, again, we saw what Dak did last year against this Niners team. They obviously are going to want to get revenge, but this defense way better. This offense is completely way better. This offense isn't going to let Dallas stay that close. I don't think Dallas is. I think this game is going to be put away probably by the mid to late third quarter. You're going to see it. So give me San Francisco to take care of business against Dallas. San Fran wins this game 34. I would say 34-21.
Now, on paper, with the way that the Bucs played last week against the Dallas Cowboys, you would think the Cowboys would have crushed them and put them away a hell of a lot sooner. But the fact that they didn't do that makes me question how they're going to fare against a much better team in the 49ers. Now, I'll admit it, I slept on the 49ers because I was like, well, what direction are they going to go in without Jimmy G and Trey Lance? And I was like, well, is Brock Purdy going to be able to carry these guys to an NFC championship, or dare I say it, even a Super Bowl? The thing is, he has enough. I mean, the thing is, at this point, defense wins champion. The defense and the running game wins championship in the postseason. And at this point, all a quarterback really has to be is manageable. Do you have to be Tom Brady or Peyton Manning? Not necessarily, but would it help? Yes. Have I seen enough from Brock Purdy to say that he's elite yet? I don't think so. But I think his weapons and all the other offensive weapons he can do, he can. All those weapons are going to make up for what Brock Purdy, quote unquote, lacks in. Now, as far as Dallas Cowboys, they've got a three-headed monster in Dak, Zeke, and in CD Lamb. But we've seen that Zeke can be slowed down. If Zeke has a bad game, I'm sorry. That's like 75% of their offense going right there. CD can make catches, but the thing is, are those catches going to be into points? And my God, the field goal. Thing is, 4 missed field goals last week. That's inexcusable for the Dallas Cowboys. You can't do that against a team like against San Fran. But yeah, to me, this is going to be a tale of the Cowboys' defense against the 49ers' offense. Can they contain them? And if so, how long are they going to be able to hold them for? Because Lord knows they ain't going to be able to do it all 4 quarters. Which leads me to this. Question, boys and girls: are the 49ers going to start slow and finish strong, or are they going to get an early lead and possibly let the Dallas Cowboys catch up? I feel like if it's the latter, I feel like if it's the former, then the 49ers have a better chance of winning. But one thing they don't want to do is let the Dallas Cowboys catch up on them. But I feel like if they start off slow and finish strong, they have a better chance of winning the game. So with that in mind, give me the 49ers 30-23 over the Cowboys. Well, gentlemen, you guys got any final thoughts before we sign out tonight?
Not much. Waz's team is the last of the Mohicans for our group.
Mm-hmm.
It should be teams, in here, but things happen. But there's always a light, in a bad situation, and the light is that Joe Lombardi was fired, and I have been calling for that since I don't know how long. You guys have heard me saying it for how long? I don't know.
5 years now.
That headline, I was happy. I was satisfied. I was just like, yeah, that'll make everything better now.
Yeah.
So
we're keeping Matt Canada, but that's neither here nor there.
Flip, you think the Chargers are going to stop being cheap and pay some money for Sean Payton?
No. Staley's staying. I think the player kind of vouched for Staley. I think the issue here with Lombardi, the defensive coach, Staley said he's going to start calling the defensive side of the ball, which I think is great because that's why he got hired, was because he was, a defensive-minded coach for the Rams.
Yeah.
It's just, if they go out and spend the money, spend one on an offensive coordinator. Go get the best offensive coordinator for this team. Don't worry about the paycheck. You saw what the team can do in the playoffs. Go out there and spend money.
All right. Waz, final thoughts when we sign out tonight?
No, man. Just look forward to another good playoff weekend. Just go San Francisco again. My team's the last one remaining amongst the 3 of us with the potential chance or hope at that Lombardi Trophy.
Yes.
We'll see what happens. But again, ironically, I think it's the most confident game I'm picking in next to Kansas City. But we'll see how it happens. See if Brock Purdy can maintain the undefeated streak.
Mm-hmm. All righty. Well, gentlemen, that'll do it for our divisional picks for the NFL 4th and Goal podcast. Everybody on YouTube and Snapchat and Instagram, thank you guys for tuning in as well. Flip, Waz, you guys are great as always, and I will see you next week. Peace out.
Peace.